stressful, overwhelming, a hassle. If you're using any of those words to describe buying a home, we need to chat. In this video, I'm going to break down everything that you need to do to successfully purchase a home here in Greater Vancouver. Everything from what to do and when. Buying a home should be a strategic, informative process to secure your investment, and it should be fun. Let's get into it. If this is your first time to the channel and want to know everything there is about real estate in Vancouver and surrounding areas, make sure to subscribe below. Tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about what's going on in the current market here in Vancouver. My name is Megan Becker, eXp Realty. Myself and my team get calls every single day from people looking to make a move to or within Vancouver. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, make sure to give me a call, text, or email, and I'm excited to help you make a smooth move to Canada's greatest city. Step number one is to secure your financing. This is going to set the stage for your entire home buying journey here. First thing you need to do here is evaluate your current financial situation. How much money do you have for a down payment? What's your current income at? What's your job scenario like? How much debt do you have? Those are some questions that are going to help you start this process here. Step number two is hire the right agent. I'm pretty biased because I know I'm good at what I do. But if you're not sold on me yet, here are some things to consider when you are interviewing other agents. Number one, real estate's a very intimate transaction. You're going to be spending a lot of time with your realtor. They're going to see you at your highs, at your lows, when you get an offer accepted, maybe when you get it rejected, and everything in between. So you want someone that you want to spend that time with, that you connect with there. Yes, market knowledge and negotiation skills, all of those things are an absolute must. They need to be competent at what they're doing in the property that they are selling and advising you on market conditions, the area, the property type, all of that. But I think the biggest thing that I encourage people to look for is communication skills. I see a lot of frustrations happen in the real estate world due to a lack of communication, or clients just don't know what to expect. So I take a very proactive approach to educating and talking with my clients. And then I guess the last thing is really subjective, is again, it's use your intuition, use that gut instinct that you want someone that you know, like, and trust. And those are some of the factors to help really evaluate choosing that right agent. For a more objective measure, ask yourself or ask them, are they on a team? Do they have an assistant? Do they have help? Are they a one-man show? Because if they are, and they're juggling lots of clients, real estate agents have to wear a lot of hats. There's dealing with paperwork, there's showing properties, negotiating, doing up contracts. And if they are really busy and it's only them, they're going to be juggling a lot of balls. And so I always tell people, at least look for somebody, if they're a solo agent, that they have an assistant, somebody that can help keep them on track and organize and take care, make sure all of the little details like the paperwork is in order, because that is just as important as negotiating a great price, is making sure the contracts are written properly, all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, things like that. Step number three, this is the fun part, is your wish list. Identify those wants and needs. Start writing down, what do you want in a property? What's the location, bed, bath? I always start the conversation with clients is, what's the lifestyle and what are the goals that you're trying to achieve here? Because you're not just looking for 2 beds and 2 baths. You're looking for something that's going to help you achieve a certain lifestyle or goals. And so really identify that. Do you work from home? Do you have pets? Do you have kids? Are you looking for more space because you need a home office? Do you love being able to walk to local coffee shops? Do you want to be a certain time frame for a commute because you've got family and kids that you want to be spending time with? Identify all of those things and then really figure out, like, yes, it's important to identify, how many cars you have, parking, pets, all of that stuff, but start on that big picture thing. And then let's work in. Are you willing to do renos? If we find the right property, the right location, the right size, but it's super dated and needs some work, is that something that you're willing to take on? Or are you willing to spend a little bit of money and do some renos? So all of those things are important things to address. And then I always tell clients to differentiate between the wants and the needs. What are those top 3 non-negotiables that this property absolutely has to have? Because we're gonna try our best to get you a property that checks all the boxes, but it is very rare to get a property that's a 10 out of 10. We're doing really well if we're an 8 out of 10, and then maybe we have to paint and redo some cabinets, or maybe we have to turn that den into a nursery for the time being, or something like that. And I can't tell you how to navigate that. I can only provide perspective on that. But there are certain things in a property that we can change, but the location, the size of it, to some extent or another, we can't really do that. So figure out what are those non-negotiables that absolutely have to be checked off. Step number 4 is starting your home search. So this can be done in multiple different ways depending on the property type that you are looking for. But what I do with most clients is I'll set them up on an automatic search. So I'll take that criteria, set them up into this center that sends you properties as soon as they hit the market that are within that criteria. You are able to favorite them, to make comments, and then me as an agent, it helps me understand what you like and what you don't like. I always say positive and negative comments help on both sides because I just understand better so I can start narrowing in on what you're actually going after in a property there. The second way I do this with some clients is realtor selected properties. Is for some clients that are really, really specific, they need a certain layout or a certain property type that we can't find specific criteria. I'll just set myself up on a search and I'll hand select and I'll only send you the ones that specifically check those boxes. Maybe you want it facing a certain direction over the water, only west facing views or something like that. We can't set up a search for that specifically, but I can hand select those and making sure that you're only getting ones that check your boxes. Because I get it. People are busy. Some people don't want to see every single property that hits their search, only the ones that are on, a certain floor in a condo or backyard is facing a certain direction. And I get that. People are busy. Next is new builds or pre-sales. And if this is the route that you want to go down, we'll start exploring pre-sales and what that looks like and start visiting some presentation centers and going through that entire process there. And if you're curious about pre-sales, I've done another video that talks specifically about what to look for in a pre-sale property. Once you found some properties that you're excited to view, we are going to start shopping. So we'll take a group of properties. I like to show at least 4, 5, 6 properties at once. I find if you're seeing a group of properties, it's easy to compare one to the other. And I've had a lot of success with kind of jam packing a Saturday or a Sunday and seeing a whole property tour and really having clients. It really allows you to walk through the properties, compare different things, and you start to understand it's different looking at a property online versus walking through it and seeing the flow of the kitchen of like, ooh, I like the galley style, I don't like the L, or vice versa. You really get the feel for that when we're actually inside the property. You'll get a feel of the parking, the neighborhood, all of those things are valuable aspects that we're going to figure out when we start that shopping process. Step 5 is offer time. So once we found a property that you are excited about making the next step forward, we're going to put together an offer. So the first thing I do when we're talking about an offer is I will do a fair market value analysis of the property. I'm going to take into consideration the recent sold comparables. I'll take into consideration the active inventory on the market, what the current market is like, and I'll do an analysis and figure out kind of what, it's usually a range of what is fair market value and what I would advise the client is a reasonable price to pay for this property. Then we're going to sit down together and draft up the offer. We're going to talk about all of the terms. So what's your ideal closing date, the price, the deposit, the conditional period, things like that. And then we're going to talk about conditions or subjects. Here in BC, conditions and subjects mean the exact same thing. So terms are items in the contract that don't change. You can negotiate them. Subjects or conditions are pieces of the contract that actually need to be satisfied in order for the contract to become firm. So in a non-super competitive market, we're going to put together an offer that has subjects in it. The typical subjects are subject to you qualifying for financing, subject to you doing a property inspection, and then if you were purchasing a condo, subject to a strata doc review. In a very competitive market, we might not include some or all of those conditions. But I'll do another video on what it's like to compete in a multiple offer situation and how to put together the most strategic offer. So after we've drafted up your offer, I'm going to present that to the listing realtor. And three things can happen. Either they're going to accept it, they're going to reject it, or what happens most of the time is they're going to counter it. So they can counter any one of the terms or the conditions: price, possession date, closing date, length of conditional period. All of those things can be negotiated. Once we have come to an agreement on terms and conditions, then we sign off and we have a firm offer. Then we go into the conditional period. Step 6 is the conditional period. But typically for the conditional period, we do about 5 business days. And so this time allows myself to send all of your contract docs to your mortgage broker. And then they're going to start working on your financing. If you are purchasing a condo, it's an opportunity for us to review all the strata docs. Again, if you're curious about the strata doc review process, I've got another video outlining all of the docs and really what that process looks like. And then lastly is the property inspection. So we do this more towards the end of that 5-day business period. And this is where you will hire a property inspector. And I've got lots of contacts of property inspectors that I've worked really closely with. And the inspector is going to come in and do the inspection of the property. They're looking for the systems, the electricity, looking for any moisture, any big things that they see in the property that could be of potential issues coming up. I always tell clients, don't look at an inspection like a pass-fail. It's really an owner's manual of what it's going to look like owning this home. Because on a resale property, even on brand new build, there's always things that come up because homes are built by human beings, and human beings unfortunately aren't perfect. So there's always little things that come up, and it's good to know exactly what things to address. Maybe there needs to be a little bit more caulking around the tub or things like that. Major issues are foundation, our moisture, massive electrical stuff. That's what we really want to keep an eye out for in the inspection. Another subject, it's not super common, but we do see it every once in a while, is a sale of home condition. So this means that your contract of purchase and sale is subject to you selling your current property. It's not ideal because they're waiting for that sale to happen. So it's just another domino that goes against the strength of your offer. But sometimes we need to have those, and depending on the market, it might be a fair strategy. The other part that happens after conditions are removed is your initial deposit. So your initial deposit is due 1 or 2 business days after subjects are removed. And your initial deposit, it's usually about 5% of the purchase price, and it goes towards your down payment. And that can be payable. Usually it's a bank draft payable to your realtor's brokerage, and that gets held in a trust account until the sale closes. Step number 7 is you're going to get in touch with your mortgage broker and you're going to talk about your financing options. A really good mortgage broker is not just going to get you a great rate, but they're going to sit down with you and figure out what makes sense, fixed, variable, all the different mortgage options, and figure out what makes sense based on your lifestyle goals, your current situation, and advise you as such. Step number 8, this is the day that you've been waiting for, closing day. So here in BC, we've got 3 dates to be mindful of. The first date is your closing date. So this is the date that the funds transfer. So if you're getting a mortgage, your lender is going to send that mortgage money to your lawyer or notary. That is then going to go over to the selling side, their lawyer or notary, and then that goes to the seller. Closing days need to be done on a non-holiday weekday. Obviously, when the banks are open is when this needs to happen. The second day is the exciting day. This is the day that you get your keys. This is possession day. So this typically happens 1 or 2 days after closing day. And this is the day that you take legal possession of your property. Your realtor is going to meet you there, give you the keys, do a whole big celebration, and you can start moving in. So you are legally responsible for your property as of the date and time set forth in your contract of purchase and sale on the possession date here. The third day is the adjustment date. And this is typically the same day as possession. And this is where property taxes, utilities, strata fees, everything like that gets adjusted. If the seller has prepaid property taxes, it gets adjusted here, etc. Prior to closing day, we'll send you a moving checklist, making sure that you've got everything organized. You'll have to line up utilities. But if you're moving into a condo, book a move-in with the strata, and make sure all utilities are hooked up, that you've got insurance, everything like that prior to. One other thing to note on closing day, this is where you're going to pay all of your closing costs. So I've done another really good video outlining all the closing costs, because if you've never gone through the home buying process, it can sometimes be a shock to people. They have no idea everything else that is involved in the purchase of a property above and beyond the actual number on the purchase contract. I trust that you got value from this video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm curious about your home buying experience. If you've found that understanding all these steps has helped you successfully walk through your home buying journey. Again, my name is Megan Becker, eXp Realty. If you're thinking about making a move to the Greater Vancouver area, I'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Canada's best city. All you have to do is contact me in the description box below. All my contact details are there. And until next time, I'm gonna do my favorite rainy day activity. I'm gonna go get some ramen.